So, Socialist Spice Girl front girl, AOC, took to social media to respond to the COP26 compromise to do some things about reducing carbon emissions at some point over the next 30 years. Not good enough, never is. Not good enough for AOC, this net zero carbon emissions promise.
Net zero emissions does not mean zero emissions. So what we're talking about is by the year 2050, we will still be, that's Deco. We will still be emitting
sorry for the dog.
fossil fuel emissions, CO2, methane, etc. And that's still what that means, net zero. The net means they're saying, we're going to be invested in and engaged in so much drawdown technology and drawdown practices that the amount that we're going to be drawing down is going to be equal to the amount that we're emitting. So it's going to be a wash. So that's great. By 2050. So that's not even a promise that we will have zero emissions even before I'm dead.
Thanks for that explanation. The intellect is dizzying. The mind shudders. And I just wonder, if like President Xi and the boys in the Politburo, I wonder if they sit around watching AOC videos online like I watch Zucker Brothers movies. And they just laugh and laugh and laugh.
And they were laughing when John Kerry, on the last day of this Glasgow summit, which seemed to go on forever, that we're not going to have any more coal, Dan. No more coal.
By 2030 in the United States, we won't have coal. We will not have coal plants.
Oh, we won't.
By 2035, President Biden has set a target that we will be, in our power sector, carbon-free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll look forward to all of that coming to pass. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Ronda Kennedy. She is a candidate for Congress in California 26. She's running again. This is her second attempt. She's also an attorney and a mom of 6, including 7-year-old triplets.
Oh, wow. God bless you. I don't know how you do it.
Rhonda, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, energy policy is sort of an important issue in California since, you're a state that energy rations because of the public policy of your version of the AOCs of the world, the Gavin Newsoms and the Democrat socialists there. What's your reaction to what you hear from this administration about energy policy and vis-a-vis how it would impact the middle-income families in Ventura County, California, who you're seeking to represent?
Well, as we know, California's had the most horrible policies, and we're kind of leading the nation. Every bad policy that comes out of California just sweeps across the country and eventually into D.C. I think we're the testing ground for the wacky policies that Washington wants to put out. And I'm sorry, but we have more pressing problems in California besides energy. I mean, with our homelessness, our unemployment, because of, our continued dictatorship with Gavin Newsom, shutting businesses down, he's still holding and keeping open emergency orders. So I think we need to triage. Energy is important, but if your family can't even put food on their table, they're living on the street, I think we need to take care of those problems first.
Where has Governor Newsom been, by the way? He didn't go to Glasgow with the other liberal Democratic governors. Do you know, what's going on with him?
Well, the word on the street is that Gavin Newsom just recently got vaccinated and is having some negative reaction to it and doesn't want to admit it or come out in public so people put 2 and 2 together. So that's the word on the street is he's had a bad reaction to COVID.
The booster shot, yeah.
Bell's palsy or something, paralysis in his face.
Well, I think the rumor was Guillain-Barré, but regardless, he was seen though at that Getty family wedding that Nancy Pelosi officiated. Of course she did. Of course he was there with the billionaires. So
with their masks off.
I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, there was a report that he was seen there.
Oh yeah, there's a report. Yeah, everyone has a double. Until I see it,
Body
actually
doubles.
see it. I don't want to see a picture. I want to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see him in a crowd, not in a private wedding where everybody's going to cover for him.
Well, let's talk about your race. Since you ran 2 years ago, I always appreciate people coming back and trying again. First time out's always tough. Most people lose the first go around. You're running again. You lost the district in 2020, like 60-40. So what makes 2022 so much different than 2020 in terms of why you think that you could pull this upset?
Because we have their playbook. I believe, and many people in Ventura County believe that I actually won that race. Both our polling showed me ahead. I was so bad that her congressional staff was sending word back to me looking for jobs. Then all of a sudden we have the same day registration and mail-in ballots, and we have 300,000 more voters than we usually have in the congressional elections. And I actually got the highest number of votes than any Republican who's run in that district, including Tony Strickland, who only lost by 1 point. I got crossover votes, including I won Democrat precincts. So now that we have their playbook, we have their games, we're going to make sure that this cheating doesn't happen again. And I also have a federal lawsuit in the Ninth Circuit right now for exactly this, for the mail-in ballot, same-day registration, and treating mail-in ballot voters differently than in-person voters.
How would life be different if you win this congressional race? Different for your constituents?
Well, I would take on a grander scale. I was the attorney that filed the federal lawsuit when Ventura County closed our gun stores on the guise of, COVID and business closures and deemed guns not essential. I forced them back open.
Good.
The only attorney who successfully defended and businesses who the county went after, filed TRO, temporary restraining order lawsuits against them. I got their lawsuits dropped. My clients had no fines, no penalties, and they stayed open. I just successfully defended cronies in Agora Hills. So if I do that, I'm just a private citizen. You imagine what I can do when I go to Congress. And I think I'm going to be the one that will definitely be able to take on AOC and her squad.
In this sort of this racially charged politics of ours, the behest of the identitarian left, I wonder how you're received. Your story is really interesting. That you're originally a cheesehead. You're from Wisconsin, and great-grandfather was a slave that escaped to the north and fought for the Union Army, and was the first African American to be elected to the Wisconsin state legislature. That's some impressive lineage. And so you as a black woman running there, you're running against a white leftist woman, and I just wonder how that's received in that part of the country, in the identity obsessed politics of America today.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why I was able to win Democrat precincts. Is because there's some that people kind of know that I can relate. I've been in the real world. I can function and have a foot in both worlds. I know what it's like to be a minority in this country. I know what it's like to be a woman and a mom. I'm a realist, and I relate to everyone, and I stand up. So I think it played a pretty big part. First, it got people to pay attention, and then when people saw and heard what I actually can do, it resonated with the voters.
And how much have local issues like we saw play out in Virginia been issues in California with school policies, both related to COVID as well as curriculum?
Oh, it's created a wave. I mean, there are so many patriots in Ventura County. There are organizations that are pushing back on the school board with critical race theory, which is racist in itself. And, the sex ed in California, where they're actually teaching elementary school kids about sex and anal sex. It's just disgusting. If you read these books, if we read these books to our children, we'd be arrested for child abuse, and the DCFS would be at our doors trying to take our kids away. But this is the policies that are in California now, and people here have had enough. So they're really pushing back. I'm on the front lines fighting that fight. Rob McCoy from Godspeak is on the front line fighting that fight. So, I say this is our Boston, Massachusetts, right there in Ventura County, because we're holding the line, and we're actually fighting, and we're actually winning against these Democrat, socialist, communist policies.
And it's good. I have family in Thousand Oaks, so I'm going to be telling them to vote for you. So how can people get more information about your campaign?
My website is rondakennedy.com. That's Rhonda with no H, Kennedy.com. All my social media is on there. They can follow me. My Twitter is and my Instagram is quite entertaining. They'll be entertained because I don't hold back.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And how do you do it with can I ask a mom question, Dan?
Sure.
Do you mind? Oh, I'm asking
Please.
Dan, not you, because
Please.
Dan has 17,000 children, right? Hypothetical children. How do you do it? I mean, with the triplets and then the other kids you have, how do you balance it all?
My first three are grown, and then I have the triplets. But I do it for them, and they've been involved in politics since they could watch TV. I mean, that's what they watch. They watch the news. And when I told them when I was going to run again, I asked them, do they want me to run or stay home? And they said, no, you have to run. You can't quit. And so, I do it for them, and they're involved. They wear my shirts. They come to my events because, at the end of the day, our future is going to be up to them.
Cool.
All right. She is Ronda Kennedy. That's, again, Rhonda with no H, rondakennedy.com, congressional candidate in California 26. That's Ventura County, attorney and mother of 6 as well. Rhonda, thanks again for joining us. Good luck with the campaign.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM